This is Teresa Marie Lennon again. Today I would like to talk about using visualization to improve self-esteem and to feel better about yourself. A lot of people use visualization during meditation. Guided meditation is basically using visualization of nature scenes a lot of the time to find inner peace. You can also, it's kind of like structured daydreaming. It's practicing things in your head a lot of the time, or visualizing certain outcomes or other things. Studies have shown that people who visualize practicing whatever they want to get better at get almost the same benefit as actually practicing what they're trying to get better at. They actually do get better at it. One thing you can do with visualization is you can visualize desired outcomes, such as what does peace look like to you. You may have never imagined what peace looked like before, but it could be a real good visualization to do. What does relaxation look like? What does self-confidence look like? What does the future look like when all the negativity has dissipated? Where are the negative feelings in your body? You can visualize yourself and your negative feelings and things that are unpleasant to you in your body, and you can make them ugly or weird looking and then move them out in the visualization, and you might actually find that that has worked to help things. You can use visualization to step outside your body and see the location of negative feelings. You can make them glow red and then fade and then diminish. We have that power to use visualization to make our lives better. We were given imagination for a reason. You can visualize your inner critic. You can make him or her a politician, a carnival barker, a carny, a spokesmodel for like Victoria's Secret or something, a telemarketer, a clown. I've discovered that many people don't actually like clowns a whole lot. Or you can make him a madman. Whatever helps you to see that your critic should not, your internal critic should not always be taken seriously, if ever. What do you see when you visualize aging? What are some of your ideas and beliefs about aging? What do you see in getting older? What can you change about what you see about getting older? I, for one, believe in that sometimes there is such a thing as a self-fulfilling prophecy, that you can become what you believe you are. And if you have a lot of negative images about aging and getting older, you may end up with the negative experience in getting older. What limits you? You can use visualization for this too. You can see what limits you, and you can actually knock down the walls or whatever in your head. I've done this. I've knocked down walls in my head, and things actually did get better, and I stopped feeling so limited. Sometimes repressed stuff came out from behind the walls when I knocked them down in my head. But that's good. That repressed stuff needs to be needs to escape. So how can you change your limits? How can you change anything that you want to change? Another thing that's good to visualize is God, the Spirit, Goddess. What do they look like? I've visualized God a lot in my life, and as I get older, the image changes. When I was a kid, I visualized God as the old white-haired man with the white beard and white mustache, and the beard down to here, and the long flowing white hair, and etc., etc. And later on, I visualized God as this nebulous being that was everywhere. That was like this energy, this nebula that extended throughout the universe. And then I've seen God as Jesus, and I've seen God as a beautiful woman, and I've seen God in my head as a big stone giant that was part of a temple. It was pretty cool. And I was sitting down below this stone giant, and I was leaning up against it. And that was okay. Another thing you can do to cope better is to imagine your funeral. Visualize your funeral. Maybe that sounds kind of morbid to you, but it's a fact of life. Death is a fact of life. What would you want to be remembered for at your funeral? What 5 things would you want people to say about you? You can visualize this. You can create this wise inner guide and see him or her clearly, and have him or her teach you things. Visualize an inner advocate, someone who stands up for you and what you believe in, and says positive things about you. This person can look like anything you want them to look like. You might even take your visualizations and turn them into drawings. They don't have to be anything but stick figures, but they can be more than that if you want them to be. What would it look like if you reached your goals? This can be a good thing to visualize. That way you can make adjustments accordingly if you don't like what you see. What are 5 things that you can do that are totally unexpected? You can rewrite your history and re-perceive the events and people in your life. Everybody has their own perspective. Most people want love and happiness and relief from pain and to feel better about themselves. And you can rewrite history. You can even use visualization to make a better past. I think a lot of people who write sitcoms do this kind of visualization, actually, because sitcoms don't seem very realistic to me, but you can recreate anything you want to create, as long as you don't try with all your might to believe what you've created. You'll be okay. What are some alternatives? What are some possibilities? What are some opportunities? What are alternatives to the things you're doing now? When's the last time you sat down with your choices and visualized the alternatives and tried to see if there's better opportunities out there? There's probably nearly endless possibilities about what you could do with your life at this point in time. I think it's a good idea to turn the good visualizations over to God and expect the unexpected. Share the good things with God as well as the negative things. Don't be afraid to share anything with God. Whatever you call God. Share this stuff with him or her. What are your intentions towards other people? You can visualize having good intentions towards people. Basically, the idea of visualization is to practice things in your mind and to get better at things and to see the alternatives and the possibilities and the opportunities that are lurking there in the shadows. You can write your own success story. Now, this is not the same thing as having an expectation. This is just, this is dreaming, and dreaming is a good thing. As long as you're not daydreaming all the time and you're missing out what's happening in the moment. When you have time to visualize what success would look like for you, take the time to write it down, and it could be a lot of fun to compare what you wrote to what actually happened. You want to have goals. Visualize reaching your goals. Visualize the steps that you need to take to reach them. And then do small steps at a time. Don't try to accomplish everything at once. I know many people have issues with wanting things now. But nothing worth having can be had right now, usually. It all has to be worked for. Use your own map to get where you want to go. Be a trailblazer. Don't be afraid to set your own path. You can use visualization for that too. You can make a path in your mind and see where it goes. You may learn something really new and interesting about yourself. But visualization is basically a good tool of the imagination that can actually have some very positive results. Thank you.